Hi everyone, welcome. We're so excited you're here. Thank you for joining us on the Spring Equinox Yoga and Tarot Retreat. So this is the first of your daily tarot tip videos, and really this portion is just to give you some tips, right? Give you some information about tarot, knowing that we're all on different parts of this journey with tarot and different levels of experience and interaction with our cards. So take from it what you will, right? But think about using tarot as a sense of self-care, as a way to tap into your intuition. I want to, talk a little bit about why yoga and tarot, like why we partner these two together. And really, for me, yoga and tarot have both always been really grounding practices. The yoga piece being one for me that's more grounding in a physical sense, right? Getting out of my head, getting into my physical body, really feeling this connection to my sense of self. And tarot being a reflection in terms of what I'm going through, maybe in my emotional state, right? So I don't really look at tarot personally as a way to tell the future or anything of that nature. For me, it's more of a mirror. It's looking at these cards and then sort of seeing what comes up as a reflection of what's going on in my inner landscape. So again, take from this what you will, but know that really the intention of this is just to find another sense of self-care, to dive a little bit deeper into your intuition. And so just trust that like wherever you are in this journey on tarot is just exactly wherever you're meant to be, okay? So one thing that I think is really interesting just to talk about is that tarot has a really deep history. It's definitely become more popular, in this modern time, but the first known deck originated back in the 14th century in Italy. And prior to that, it's believed that it actually even originated in Egypt in the mid to late 13th century before it was then brought to Europe. And what also is interesting is that at the time, tarot was more of just a card game. It was a playing card deck played by the people at the time. And then over the years, by about the 18th century, it actually became more of a tool for divination. So it really started as this playing card deck, and then it evolved with different cards being added, different associations being made. And then if you look at more of the current modern time frame, 1910 was the year that the Rider-Waite-Smith deck was illustrated and created. And the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is a very classic deck. A lot of people that write about tarot or read tarot, you see, will use that deck. And really, there's no right or wrong deck to use. It's just one that a lot of classics look back to. And then a lot of the modern decks that you see today really take the Rider-Waite-Smith and then interpret it in their own way, which is one thing that I think is really beautiful about tarot, is that there's so many beautiful decks, there's so many beautiful interpretations of different artwork, different illustrations, but at the same time, the elements, the symbolism really carries throughout the cards. So a little bit more about the actual tarot deck and how we look at it today, right? Rider-Waite-Smith and now today, is that it's made up of 78 cards. And of the 78 cards, there are 56 cards we call the minor arcana, and then there's 22 called the major arcana. Now the minor arcana make up 4 suits, and the 4 suits are from aces to king. So again, think like our standard playing card deck. The 4 suits are wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, also known as coins in some decks. And each of those 4 suits have a different element associated with them and have different themes associated with them as well. I'll go through that a little bit more in detail in our next video. The major arcana is more of their archetypes. So instead of suits, it starts with the Fool and it goes all the way up through the World. And in all of these cards, there's more elements of archetypes of sort of this journey of self. If you think about the minor arcana, they're a little bit more day-to-day, everyday life type situations. The major arcana is more of a spiritual sense, or if you think about like the Fool's journey and just this path of enlightenment. So again, I'll go a little bit more into that in detail, but that just kind of gives you a basic sense of the tarot deck as a whole. So as I said, there's no right or wrong way to do tarot, right? One thing I would suggest that works for me, but again, do what works for you, is I like to draw a tarot card in the morning. So I just make it part of my morning practice. You know, the invitation to you is to make this part of the practice that you've already done with the email, with the daily reflection questions, with the meditation from Soch. You know, so one suggestion you could do is get up, do the meditation from Soch, and then once you're done with the meditation, pull out your cards and just start shuffling. You know, you could break it up and do it at a different time, but that's personally one way I like to do it. So really, you just start by shuffling your cards, and you can just shuffle your cards like this, right? You can just simply cut the deck several times. You could cross them. You can even pull them out and shuffle them like you would a standard playing card deck, whatever works for you. You can close your eyes. I like to reflect on what I want to know from my cards. So if you want to just keep it simple, you know, one thing I do daily is simply think, what do I need to focus on today? And I just sort of close my eyes. I take a deep breath, shuffle the cards, feel the cards in my hand, and think, what do I need to focus on today? If you want a little bit more of an advanced spread, or you're looking for more information, you could take the journal prompt questions that we have in the email, and you could think of those questions as a prompt for a spread to draw several cards. So it's entirely up to you. And then you just shuffle for as long as you feel called, right? Whenever you're ready, just say, okay, I'm gonna grab a card. You pick a card, you look at it. And then the first thing that I would suggest you do, and I got the World, beautiful card, is just look at that card, right? Just study it. Just before you pick anything up, even if you feel like you have no idea what it's saying to you, just take note of the elements, right? Look at the colors, look at the shapes, you know, write down anything in your journal that comes to you, that is interesting to you, and then just sit with that for a moment. And then, of course, you know, as you feel called, as you feel ready, you can pick up books that come with your deck. You can go online and look at meanings. I mean, you could go down a whole like rabbit hole if you like studying the meaning of this card. But the idea really, truly is to tap into your intuition, right? To see what this card means. And again, if you're newer to tarot, or you pull a card you're not familiar with, you might have no idea, and that's okay, right? Again, trust where you are in this process and just start trusting this connection that you build with yourself. Another thing I would suggest that's really fun is if you do this card pull in the morning, you journal about the meaning that you find from your own practice, the meaning that you read in your book. You journal on that, and then you go about your day. And in the evening, before you go to bed, you pick up your journal again. Maybe you pick up your card again, or you pick up the book from the meaning, and reflect on your day with your card in mind, right? Maybe notice, hey, I wrote about this card this morning. How did that show up in my day? And just allow yourself to sort of let the tarot, again, be this tool of self-reflection that not only allows you to start your day with a sense of self, but then end it in a state of reflection as well. So I hope that this is helpful to you. I am so excited to hear how this part of your journey goes. Again, do this however you like. But I'm really excited to share more with you tomorrow, and hope you enjoy your tarot today. See you soon.